like, they killed him. They killed him. They couldn't stop him any other way. They killed him. Hi, I'm Jamie Black, the co-writer of the feature film We Want Harold. If you like political drama, you're gonna love this film. If you love Chicago, you're gonna love this film. If you love Harold Washington, you're gonna love this film. The story about how Harold Washington became mayor of Chicago, it's a fascinating, really interesting one. Chicago was founded by a black man, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, and it would take 281 years before a black man would run the city of Chicago. And that's the story of Harold Washington. Back in 1982, a bunch of black people got together and said, you know what, we need a black person to run Chicago. So they had a bunch of names. They talked to a bunch of people. Jesse Jackson was one of the people they talked to. Lou Palmer. There were some other people. And Harold Washington's name was at the top of the list. Now, Harold Washington was a U.S. congressman at the time. And he was like, I don't want to run Chicago. I'm a U.S. congressman. I'm doing stuff in Congress right now. But he saw how, passionate the people of Chicago were, and there was just a fire that was ignited in them. And he said, you know what? I'm going to run for Chicago, but you all going to have to do something first. So he said, listen, the only way I'm going to do this is if you register another 50,000 voters and get $250,000 in the bank. It's the only way I'm going to do it, because it's the only way we can run a serious campaign. And that's what they did. They actually registered another 100,000 voters. And so Harold was like, well, I guess I'm running for mayor of Chicago. And that's what he did. And he won. In spite of all of the racist rhetoric that was going around. Wow. I mean, white people about lost their minds when Harold was running for mayor. They were saying there was all kinds of racist literature that was going around. They would like pictures of Harold with watermelon or fried chicken or something like that, or even there was a lot of bad stuff going around. But he won, and he immediately faced opposition from the Verdoliak 29, which was a group of city councilmen who formed a voting bloc and voted down anything that Harold wanted to pass. Listen, Harold was a really great politician. He didn't play dirty politics or anything like that. What happened was he found out that the ward maps that had been drawn and had not taken into consideration the growing Hispanic population. So they weren't being represented properly in the city council. So they petitioned the court to have a new map drawn. They got a new map drawn, and then they said, well, now there has to be a special election, because now we have to elect people in these new wards so that Hispanics are being represented by the correct people. They finally got the judge to agree to a special election. There were 7 wards that were in question. He needed to win 4 of those in order to gain back power. But there was a standoff with the last ward between Luis Gutierrez and Manny Torres. The votes were so close. There was a runoff election, and Luis Gutierrez ended up winning. That created a 25-25 tie on anything that was in the city council. And guess who breaks the tie? The mayor. So that's how Harold Washington regained control. Well, they were like, well, darn, we can't stop him this way. So he ran for mayor again in 1987. And they tried everything to stop him. They really did. They even formed their own political party to try to stop Harold Washington from being mayor again. But he was elected again. And then he died 6 months later in office. Now, a lot of people in Chicago were like, they killed him. They killed him. They couldn't stop him any other way. They killed him. A lot of other people are like, no. Harold was out of shape and everything. He died of natural causes. But I can tell you, if you go to Chicago, you ask some people and ask them whether or not they think Harold Washington was murdered, they may say, oh, well, it's a possibility. We think he was. So there's a lot of intrigue, a little bit of mystery and everything in this movie. So we hope that you will donate to the campaign so that we can make this movie. Right now, we're just trying to secure some more talent. That's what this Kickstarter campaign is about, is getting some money so that we can secure some more talent. So please donate. Listen, all we're asking for is $1. Just give us $1. $1 holler. That is our rallying cry. Give us $1. Help us make this movie. Pass this on to a friend. Tell them about it. And then you'll see We Want Harold on the big screen one day. Thanks so much.